Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about the WWT Raceway and Portland International Raceway weekend for Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks. Obviously the Cups and Trucks they were in Gateway, or the Xfinity Series they were over in Portland. But before we get into that, let's first talk about Sonoma. There has been now some changes to Sonoma for this year compared to last year. And obviously one of them is that the Truck Series is not there anymore. It is now, for the first time, the Xfinity Series, along as well with the Arcomanaris West Series, which I'm pretty sure has been always a thing, but I might be wrong. Friday, June 9th, obviously practice qualifying. Both of them will be for the Arcomanaris West Series. There'll be no TV for that. Practices will start at 2 p.m. while the qualifying will start at 3:10 p.m. 4 or 5 p.m. will then be practice for the Xfinity Series on FS1. And then 6:30 p.m. will be the Arcomanaris Series West race for the running of the General Type 200 that will be on Flow Racing. Saturday, June 10th, there will be qualifying first for the Xfinity Series at 3 p.m. on FS1. Practice and qualifying for the Cup Series next, 5 p.m. for qualifying. 5 p.m. for practice, 6 p.m. for qualifying. Both of them will be on FS2. And then at 8 p.m. will be the Xfinity Series race for the running of the DoorDash 350. That'll be on FS1, PRN, and Sirius XM. My dumbass thought that it will be a night race for Sonoma, but no, I realized that time zones exist, and as this is actually like in Florida time, so that's great. And then at 3:30 p.m. will be the Cup Series race for the running of the Toyota Save Mart 350. That'll be on Fox, PRM, and Sirius XM. So I don't know why it says Gateway there. I don't know why either. But with the schedule all done for Sonoma, let's now talk about first the Truck Series results. And the winner of the truck race at Worldwide Technology Raceway is Grant Aimfinger. Then we got Christian Eckes, Stuart Friesen, Carson Hosford, Chase Purdy, Matthew Benedetto, Ben Rhodes, Nick Sanchez, Jesse Love, and Jake Garcia ran out the top 10. And then in 11th place, Daniel Dye, Colby Howard, Taylor Gray, Brent Holmes, and Roger Cruz ran out the top 15. Now, obviously, first of all, I just wanted to say, just to get the elephant out of the room, Jesse Love, obviously, he was supposed to drive the 1 truck. Obviously, as you can tell, he actually drove the 11 truck. The reason why is because Corey Heim, he was very unwell to race, and so we're not really too sure what he had, which also caused him to be very unwell and not be cleared to race, but apparently it was very, very severe that Jesse Love had to replace him, and he actually did really, really well. He came in the top 10. It was his first Truck Series race, top 10, which is actually pretty good, especially for Tricon Garage equipment. So I think he did really, really well. As for his quote-unquote replacement for the one, that being Tony Breindinger, and not that good. She didn't finish inside of the top 20. Yeah, so that's okay though. No one failed to qualify, but two things I want to mention. The first one is Zane Smith and Ty Majeski. Now, basically the trucks that were probably the favorites to win was obviously one of them was Grant Aimfinger, but the other ones was Zane Smith and Ty Majeski. Battling for the lead, I'm pretty sure with, I don't know, maybe 5 laps to go. Majeski got loose underneath Zane Smith in turn 3, and both of them started spinning out into and hit the outside wall. Pretty sure Majeski retired from the race, while Zane Smith he recovered to finish in 20th place. Not really good as well for Majeski, since the championship leader Corey Heim is obviously coming into this race as the championship leader. Heim is still the championship leader by 1 point. So if Majeski even if he finished in 20th place where Zane Smith is, he will still be the championship leader. But because he crashed out, he does not take the lead. He's still behind Corey Heim, even after missing 1 race. So, oh boy, Majeski. And I've been also seeing as well that Majeski, he's been making a lot more mistakes in my opinion. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he was part of that incident with Roger Cruz. Pretty sure, what was it? Kansas? Michigan? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Michigan. Pretty sure it was in Michigan. And then now he has his mistake now with Zane Smith. So he's been having a lot more mistakes. Probably a lot more pressure as well on him to really make a run for the championship this year. A bit worried for Ty Majeski, but at least that's okay. At least he has a couple more races to go and to finally win a race, which I don't think he has this season, but I might be wrong about that. let's talk about another thing though. Obviously, Ty Majeski. I was like, he's a championship contender. Zane Smith also championship contender. Smith, he's obviously looking for his second championship. Wallace Allen, why is he still in the Truck Series? He crashed on the final lap. He just got loose. He was going 3 wide, just got loose and bended into the outside wall. Basically, what Zane Smith and Ty Majeski did. He bended in the outside wall. This time, he was battling maybe around for 17th place. So it was at least he was inside of the top 20, but then he just got loose, spun out, hit the outside wall, and that basically ended his day. That was on a final lap, so he could have actually salvaged a pretty good result if he didn't crash for some stupid reason. But that's okay, because that is Wallace Allen, and I'm guessing he might stay with Nice next year, but we'll see, because for Young's Motorsports, I just want to quickly mention, Young's Motorsports, they actually replaced Chris Wright with Chris Hacker. I'm pretty sure between Charlotte and Gateway, also known as WWT Raceway. So yeah, that's something that might maybe happen for to Nice. Like that 45 truck might be replaced mid-season, but we have to wait and see. Let's have a look at other finishes outside of the top 15. Zane Smith, there he is, down in 20th. Lost Allen down in 22nd. There's Tony Brindingham, which I mentioned before. She's down in 24th. Chris Hacker down in 27th place. I'm pretty sure in his first race for Young's Motorsports, I'm pretty sure he's going to be there full time. And then there's also Ty Majeski, who I'm pretty sure led most of the laps. He's down in 30th place, so not good for Majeski. And even if he finished in 29th place, which is where Jack Wood finished, and that is, I just want to say that's horrendous finishing for a Cowboy Motorsports equipment. And they're pretty sure Chase Purdy, he finished. Where did Chase Purdy finish? I actually don't know. I think he finished inside of the top 10. I'm pretty sure. So Jack Wood, if he's getting beaten that badly by Chase Purdy. They're both of them coming to this season. They're both of them are kind of looking like bust. Chase Purdy, credit to him, he has turned it around big time. Jack Wood, nothing has really been impressing me. I'll be honest about Jack Wood. But down last place is Clay Greenfield, who is running a new racing called CK Racing or GK Racing. I'm pretty sure. He had an accident on the very first lap, so that's great to see. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Xfinity Series results. So the winner of the Xfinity Series race at Portland International Raceway is Cole Custer. Then we've got Justin Allgaier, Sam Mayer, Josh Berry, Austin Hill, Maya Snyder, Sheldon Creed, Connor Mosack, Chandler Smith, and Jonathan Nemechek ran out of top 10. He had a very eventful day today. They got Alex LeBay, Brent Moffat, Brandon Jones, Parker Kligerman, and Blaine Perkins ran out of the top 15. The reason why that Nemechek had a very eventful day is that he had a couple of run-ins with Sheldon Creed, and also his team as well, Sammy Smith. But I want to talk about Sheldon Creed mainly. I'm pretty sure it was coming to stage 2, I think. Creed spun out Nemechek, and Custer got a stage win after a drag race, basically to the start-finish line. And I'm pretty sure a couple laps later, Creed retaliated to Nemechek. I'll be honest, I'm really surprised that they didn't actually have like an altercation, that like they didn't like talk to each other like during pit road after the race, which I'm pretty surprised about. So at least good on both of them for at least keeping it cool and lightheaded. But yeah, it's just I don't know what Nemechek was doing. I'm guessing it was probably by accident when Nemechek spun out Creed, but then Creed, I can imagine that Creed was angry, and he spun out Nemechek for retaliation, which I could completely understand. Luckily, there was no fist flying or anything, which is at least a good sign. But yeah, at least both of them, they handled it very, very professionally. They're probably going to maybe have a conversation maybe about it play at some point, but maybe they already had. I'm not too sure. As for the other one I want to talk about, there was kind of an altercation on pit road that was between Jeb Burden and the College Racing guys. Now, I'm not really too sure. I'm pretty sure Chandler Smith just dumped Jeb Burden out of the way. And I'm going to try and find a video where I'm pretty sure it was maybe on NASCAR Twitter, but I'll try and find it. Yeah, Burton, he was not happy, and I can imagine. He's had obviously a couple of run-ins as well with drivers, especially last year with Noah Gragson. I'm pretty sure that was an interesting time. It's also quite ironic as well that Jed Burton, he used to drive for Colleague Racing. He's now having altercations with them. No, I mean, by just looking at it, I don't actually know if there was any incidents like before Chandler Smith dumping Jed Burton. I'm not really too sure. Uh, but it's just I don't really know what the altercation was. I'll be honest. I generally have no idea. Like, okay, whatever. I'm just looking. It might be because maybe like Chandler, like I'm pretty sure maybe it was what lap was it? Maybe like it was probably like on like the first lap, and Chandler Smith just spun out. I have no idea, but I don't think Jed Burton was even there. I'm just looking at it right now. I don't think he was even there. I might be wrong about that. But yeah, I mean, I guess Burton, he just wasn't happy. Chandler Smith also wasn't happy. That's just what mayhem is, I guess, for in Portland International Raceway, which I'll be honest, pretty good track. I'll be honest. I think it was a very entertaining race here. But let's now have a look at the other finishes outside of top 15. I don't know. Where do I really start here? There's Jed Burton down in 25th place. Jordan Taylor, obviously, he was running in the 10 car in this week, and he finished down in 27th, which I'm pretty surprised about. Don't know what happened to him. I guess he just had a bad restart or something. Other ones, Sammy Smith, like I mentioned before, but obviously he had a run-in with his teammate Jonathan Nemechek. He finished down at 30th. And that's really all I can really say. Nothing really else really interests me or really pops out at me. Nothing really else. Other than maybe Hemrick, he had he was nowhere. And then last place, that being Brennan Poole, who had an accident on lap 15. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Cup Series results at Gateway. The Cup Series at Gateway, it was Kyle Busch winning in the race, his third win in the season. I'm pretty sure his 33rd career win. Then you got Denny Hamlin, Joe Logano, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, William Byron, Michael McDowell, and Kevin Harvick ran at the top 10. Then we got Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, Austin Cindric, AJ Allmendinger, and Todd Gilliland ran at the top 15. I just wanted to, actually, before we get into the big news that happened beforehand, obviously, but before this race, let's just first talk about something that obviously happened during the race, that being Austin Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Both of them, well, there was a crash in the front stretch. Pretty sure Dillon got loose probably and hit Stenhouse, and both of them got into the outside wall, rode the wall for a bit, and there was actually a 5-minute red flag because of repairing the wall. Now, from what I saw in the video, there wasn't really any damage to the wall, I don't think. But I might be wrong, obviously, because I didn't obviously watch the highlights. I just saw just a clip of it from Hendrick Chase 9. But it's just, it didn't look that severe unless it's maybe talk about, I don't know, like maybe like a piece of the wall was missing because of it. I'm not really too sure, but of course the red flag is only 5 minutes, so it was very, very short. So it wasn't too bad, but still, it was just, nothing really just big or interesting really happened other than that. As well, Bubba Wallace basically triggering an overtime after spinning out, because I'm pretty sure he lost some brakes. I'm pretty sure it was like the rear rotor brakes failed, so yeah, his brakes failed and that caused an overtime, and Kyle Busch won the overtime. So yeah, that's what I really have to say about the race. The one thing I really mainly want to talk about is the elephant in the room. Berry LaJoie, obviously, he replaced Chase Elliott for this weekend because Elliott was suspended, rightfully so, for his incident with Denny Hamlin in last week at Charlotte, and Carson Hocevar, he replaced LaJoie in the 7. Now, if you're wondering where he plays, we need to go down a bit, past the top 20, and there he is down in 21st place. Now, obviously, my first impressions was that was pretty disappointing. To be fair, you have to say that was pretty disappointing, especially for Hendrick Chase, for Hendrick Motorsports standards. However, obviously, this isn't the first time that the 9 team has gotten substitute. Like Josh Berry, he substituted for Chase Elliott when he broke his leg, I'm pretty sure, in a snowboarding accident. And I decided to why not we just compare the race results. So like the first race, obviously, for both LaJoie and Berry for the 9 car of Hendrick Motorsports. So, well, first off, obviously, with Berry LaJoie, he finished 21st place over in Gateway. He qualified 30th, though. not good exactly for for Corey. But obviously that's where he kind of qualifies most of the time. He mostly qualifies obviously down in 30 in like the 30th place. It's not really his fault, it's just because the car is just bad. It's just really, really bad. But all in all, he had a very clean race. There wasn't really any incidents with him or anything. He just nicely just brought the car home. That's really all I really had to say. So I think to be fair, Corey LaJoie did a pretty good job actually to taking care of the car and stuff. Now, as for Josh Berry, he finished obviously in Las Vegas, which was his first race. He finished in 29th place. Now, prior to this, he did have experience. He was, I'm pretty sure he was in the 48 car. I'm pretty sure he was in the 48 car in 2021. But to be fair, he hasn't had any prior experience like before that. So obviously we give Josh Berry the benefit of the doubt, since he was obviously a rookie. Technically, he is a rookie because obviously he didn't drive in 2022. That was Noah Gragson who drove in 2022 to replace Alex Bowman from his concussion. So obviously he started 32nd place over in Las Vegas and he finished 29th. Obviously LaJoie qualified 2 places better than him, and he finished 7 spots better than Berry. Now, obviously, the excuse for Josh Berry, which is completely understandable, is because obviously he's a rookie. It's his first time in the next-gen car. Obviously, he was going to struggle. Corey LaJoie, on the other hand, I don't think people should really be what the word I'm trying to feel. He's like, they shouldn't really be too hard on him. You guys, Corey LaJoie, most of the time he's obviously back in with pretty crappy equipment. Obviously, he was Aspire. He's also with BK Racing. I'm pretty sure the only last time he's actually had pretty competitive equipment was maybe in the K&N series, now called the Arca series. Maybe back then when he was actually like winning races and stuff and being relatively competitive. Obviously, I can understand why people will be a bit ticked off that Corey LaJoie didn't perform so well, and I'll say this as well. I'm also pretty disappointed that LaJoie didn't perform this well. However, at the same time, though, it was his first time with Hendrick Motorsports. It's completely different compared to Spire Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports obviously is 10 times better than Spire Motorsports, and we all know this. So I think even though this will be just a one-off, I don't think Corey LaJoie will be getting a call-up anytime soon from Rick Hendrick. I think he did a very solid performance. I think obviously he kept the car clean, didn't get into any wrecks or stuff. He just kept it clean and stuff, just rode it around and finished a pretty not bad 21st place. Obviously, it could be better because I'll be honest, I was expecting when it was announced, I was expecting him to be maybe inside of the top 20, if not maybe like top 15. He was just one off of finishing in the top 20, which, I mean, it's still pretty disappointing, but, I mean, at least he finished in, at least he didn't finish, 32nd or something. That's at least good enough. Because, 21st, pretty decent for Corey LaJoie, but also I can understand why he's ticked off. I can understand why other people are ticked off, because that means he'll be labeled as an overrated driver. And I'm actually horrified now. I'm actually scared for Corey LaJoie, of his reputation after this race. Will fans think that he's the most overrated driver in NASCAR history and just write him off as a bust? I don't know, maybe. I mean, his father, Randy LaJoie, he's now in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Well, I should say the NASCAR 75 best drivers, and he also has an Xfinity Series championship. So maybe it could be a bust. And LaJoie has been in the series since 2017, probably. So it has been absolutely a long time since LaJoie has actually been competitive. It's just, I think people should really pump the brakes a bit. It's obviously his first time with Hendrick Motorsports. I kind of knew he was going to struggle a bit. I was expecting him to finish inside of the top 20. I think that would be a good result. 21st, not that great, but still, he kept the car clean. Didn't get in any trouble. I think he's all good. As for Carson Hocevar, though, and not that great. Obviously, he spun out. I'm pretty sure he crashed out. Not that late to the race. I'm pretty sure it's maybe past halfway, or In the middle, I can't remember where I was like, where he spun out, but also we'll have a look as well. But we also have a look at the other drivers. This Carson Roosevelt down in 36th place. He actually qualified pretty well. Obviously, actually 4 spots higher than Corey LaJoie. And then Hocevar, he obviously got a lap 91 after being involved. Pretty sure he just spun himself out, or he just spun out in general, really. Which is, I mean, not that great. Which is only like 37% along the race. So not that great from across the race far, but I just like I said as well for LaJoie, I kind of expected him to struggle. This is his first time actually in a next gen car, unlike LaJoie, who's had prior experience, like 2 years of, well, I should say a year of experience. So I can understand why he would struggle. Pretty interesting to see him, to call him up as well. Even though he does do the Xfinity Series races for Spy Motorsports, but as with the Junior Motorsports car, basically, just under the Spy banner, kind of what Spy Motorsports are for the Truck Series. I'm pretty sure the Carbush Motorsports who probably builds that truck, or I don't know who actually builds the truck. Maybe Hendrix. Hendrix Motorsports might build the truck, but I'm not really too sure. So obviously this time is obviously a Spire built car. It's not a Hendrick built car or a Junior Motorsports car. It's a Spire built car, and I kind of expected him to struggle, and I kind of also expect him to make some mistakes, and sadly he did. But I think he qualified pretty well though in 26, which is pretty good for Spire, considering he outqualified his much more experienced teammate Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon, if you want to qualify 33rd. Hocevar qualified 26th. So there's a lot of talent in Carson Hocevar, I'll say that, and a lot of talent in Carson. So if that is the case, there might be a chance they may replace Ty Dillon at some point. I'll be very surprised if he replaces Ty Dillon next year. Very, very surprised about that. But I'm not too sure. Definitely seems like Spy Motorsports wants Carson Hocevar to be the next face of the team as soon as LaJoie is out. But we'll also have to wait and see. But basically, the moral of the story is that LaJoie, I thought he was pretty decent, even though he didn't finish that well. I think at least he kept the car clean and stuff. As for Hocevar, I kind of expect him to make some mistakes. Not really surprised he was involved in an accident, but I thought he was pretty decent either way. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Truck Series standings. So here are the standings for the Truck Series. Corey Heim, like I mentioned before, he's now 1 point in front of Ty Majeski, even though he missed out on this week's race. Hopefully he'll be back for the next race, which I can't remember where it is. Might be Nashville. Might be wrong. And then behind Heim and Majeski is Grant Finger, Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes, Christian Eckers, Carson Hocevar, Matt Crafton, Stuart Friesen, and Matt Benedetto around out the top 10. Then we got Tanner Gray, Nicholas Sanchez, Chase Purdy, Jay Garcia, Tyler Ankrum, Roger Cruz, Haley Deegan, Daniel Dyke, Colby Howard, and Taylor Gray around out the top 20. For the playoff bracket, even though it's a bit weird because Corey Heim is basically in the playoffs, so pretty sure Tyler Gray will be the first driver out. So currently Eckers, Enfinger, who now has 2 wins, Zane Smith, and then Ben Rose and Carson Hocevar, both of them have 1 win each. Then we've got Ty Majeski plus 117, he's basically in the playoffs right now. Matt Crafton plus 25, Stuart Friesen plus 18, Matt Benedetto plus 11, and Tanner Gray plus 4. Closest one is currently Nick Sanchez minus 4 below the color line, but obviously Corey Heim, he's not in the playoffs, quote unquote, because also he missed out on that one race. So let's now move over now to the Xfinity Series standings. So for now the Xfinity Series, Jonathan Nemechek still in the lead, only by 14 points in front of Austin Hill. Then we got Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, Josh Berry, Chandler Smith, Sheldon Creed, Sammy Smith, Sam Mayer, and Riley Hurst round out the top 10. Then we got Daniel Hemrick, Brennan Jones, Jeb Burner, Parker Kligerman, Ryan Sieg, Brent Moffitt, Parker Retzlaff, Kaz Gralla, Jeremy Clements, and Ryan Truex round out the top 20. Here are the playoffs, sorry. The Cole Custer, he punches his ticket to the playoffs along with Nemechek, Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Chandler Smith, Sammy Smith, and Jeb Burton. Obviously behind Nemechek, Hill, Allgaier, Custer, and with Smith in 7th place is Josh Berry plus 112. Then behind Jeb Burton, we got Sheldon Creed plus 77, Sam Mayer plus 34, Riley Herbst plus 27, and Daniel Hemrick plus 14. The closest driver is currently Brennan Jones minus 14 below the cut line. Let's now move now to the Cup Series standings. Here are the standings now, and it is Ryan Blaney now in the lead, 13 points in front of William Byron. Then we got Kevin Harvick, Rondo Truex Jr., Ross Chastain, who I swear did not get any points from this race because obviously if you checked in the in last clip, you see there's a bit of a zero next to the point standings for Chastain. So that was pretty weird. Then we got Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick rounding out the top 10. Then Brad Keselowski, who pretty sure started his 500th race or 400th races this weekend. Joe Logano, Chris Buescher, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Bob Wallace, Daniel Suarez. Then we got Alex Bowman, Ty Gibbs, Austin Cindric, and Michael McDowell around the top 20. Here the playoff bracket looks like. Obviously, Kyle Busch. He's now tied with William Byron as with the most wins this season, that being 3. Obviously behind Byron, Blaney, Busch, Larson, and Truex is Ross Chastain plus 159 above the cut line. Behind Hamlin and Bell is Kevin Harvick plus 166 above the cut line. Then behind Reddick, Logano, and Stenhouse, we have Brad Keselowski plus 96 above the cut line. Chris Buescher plus 86 above the cut line. Bob Wallace plus 27 above the cut line. And Daniel Suarez plus 6 above the cut line. The closest driver is currently Alex Bowman, minus 6 below the cut line. So just a reminder that next week's race will be at Sonoma for the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, and the ARC Menards West Series as well. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.